What's up you guys, it's Graham here. What's up you guys, it's Bart here, and today I've got some very exciting news that I've been waiting to share for quite some time now. So, providing you've smashed the like button, let's get right into it. So I'll try and split this video into 3 sections and cover why I'm becoming an estate agent, the usual sort of qualifications and pay scales, and then finally how I managed to get a job at one of the London's market leading agencies at the age of 17 with no experience, no qualifications or anything like that.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
By the way, this does mean that in a couple of weeks' time I'll be moving out at 17 to London to start this whole new journey. So if it's something that you're interested in or something that you want to just watch, or you're just nosy and you want to see the process, then please consider subscribing to the channel, as I'll be documenting my sort of experiences with trying to rent in London and live there, and obviously work as an estate agent too. So again, if you are interested in something like that, please do consider subscribing. Okay, so you might be thinking, why on earth would I want to become an estate agent? Why wouldn't I just go to university, get a degree and then get a job a bit later on in life? Why do I want to dive in at this sort of age? Well, personally, I've actually really been interested in the real estate industry for quite some time now, and it's just been a weird little interest of mine. I've always been researching it, always been watching YouTube videos about it, and I feel like this is one of the best ways for me to get in and to learn the basics really of the real estate industry. And I feel like doing it at this age will give me so much experience, and you know, it's a bit of an advantage over those that might go to university first and get a real estate degree or something, and then try and get into the job that I'm going into now later on down the line. Now, I'm not saying I've got myself the best job in the world here. I'm a doctor, I'm going to be saving lives or picking out in people's brains as a neurosurgeon, but I found something that I hopefully will really enjoy, and from what I've heard so far and from what I've experienced so far, this is something that I really do want to get into and something that I'm passionate about. So I'm really grateful to be in this position right now. But I'm just putting it out there just in case we have some keyboard warriors saying, well, you've only become an estate agent, it's no big deal. For me it is. I'm 17 years old and I'm going to be working for one of the largest estate agents in London, and I'm pretty proud of what I've been able to achieve. So this video is more so for the people that are perhaps looking to do something similar or just genuinely interested about the industry in general. In this industry in particular, getting a degree isn't as important. You know, if you want to be a vet or something like that, then you'd go to university, of course. But to get into the real estate industry, sometimes experience is more valued than something like a traditional education or a degree. For me, getting to know the London real estate market and the ins and outs of property transactions is invaluable, and hopefully it will put me in a good position moving forwards should I want to go into property development, investing, or even setting up my own agency in the future. So the main message I'm trying to get across here is that I'm doing it because it's something I'm genuinely really interested in, and because I value the experience that I'll get from it along the way. Not to mention the commission that I'll be making as well, which I can hopefully then use to save and invest. The next part of this video I'll keep short and sweet, as in reality you really don't need much to become an estate agent. Although some firms will require some sort of degree education or even experience in the field, there's nothing wrong with starting out with a little trainee position or even a weekend job to start off with. For positions like that, any experience in customer service or retail should be good enough, alongside a can-do attitude, good communication skills and a driving licence. Depending on the agency, full-time sales negotiator roles may require some previous estate agency experience, but this will largely depend on the area that you want to operate in and the employer. In my case, I'm going to be operating in the London area, and I found that most top estate agencies do require some sort of prior experience, and therefore when I applied I hardly ever heard back from anyone, seeing that I don't have my A-levels as of yet, I don't have any degree education obviously, and I haven't got any prior experience in the field. Alongside that, I don't have any family or friends in the field already that can just sneak me in. And that leads me on to the final part of this video, which will hopefully give you an insight as to how amazing things can actually be if you simply put yourself out there. Long story short, I was scrolling through LinkedIn one day and I came across the head of recruitment of the company that I'm employed at now. Now, this company had been on my radar for quite some time now, purely because I've heard good things about them, and after a little bit of research I got on the phone with the head of recruitment and started talking. I told him just how passionate I was about the industry, and one thing led to another, and a couple of days later I got a phone call where he told me that they'd like to invite me for an interview with one of the directors. I was obviously very excited, but at the same time I was quite nervous because this was for a full-time sales negotiator position in West London, for London's market leading estate agency, you know, the biggest company, the best company in London, So I knew I'd be up against people with years of experience and much more knowledge and much more value that they can bring to the team based on the current London market. So with that in mind, I spent the next couple of days preparing for this interview like I'd never prepared for anything before. I put everything else on hold and made sure that I'd give myself the best possible chance to work for this company, as it was one of the only estate agencies in London that I really saw myself working for. So apart from the obvious, such as researching the company's history and how many employees they have and the estate agent role itself, I went a bit further and I managed to find one of the company's webinars on Twitter. So I joined that a couple of days later and made a lot of notes about their quarterly performance, how the team's doing, etc. And I brought that up in the interview, and most importantly, I told them how I'd be able to contribute to that and how I see myself improving on their current performances, etc. So I dug a bit further, a bit deeper, and it was definitely well received during the interview. So I'm quite happy that I did that. Alongside that, I reached out to current and former employees of the company via LinkedIn, and I got talking to them, asking for tips for the interview, anything I should be aware of about the company, and anything that I could say that would put me in front of any other candidates. So that was also quite well received, and funnily enough, during the interview the director said to me, "But I heard that you've been speaking to some of our employees. How funny." We got talking about it and they didn't see this as a bad thing, and in fact they saw it as a good thing because they can see that I'm going the extra mile to try and find out as much as I can about this company. And I think ultimately it's what contributed to me getting this job. I was just really putting the work in, really putting the effort in, and just trying to be one step ahead of anyone else that might be interviewing by knowing the most about the company. And just trying to get a feel for it from other employees too. I managed to have some really positive conversations with the interviewers, and I felt like I was genuinely prepared for every question that came up. So it definitely worked in my favour, and if I was to give anyone any tips for job interviews, is sit down and do your research. You know, that day or two, the couple of hours you spend researching this company could set you up for a job that you then work at for the next couple of years, and it's definitely worth it. A couple of days later I got a phone call from the head of recruitment again, where he told me that I'd got the job, and we ended up having a laugh about how a LinkedIn post had led to me securing this job. And it just goes to show that if you do put yourself out there, and if you do approach people, have conversations, get on the phone, write someone an email, write someone a message, how it can really lead to something great. And in my case it's led to me being able to move out at the age of 17 to the city, to London, where I've always wanted to live, and experience a completely different lifestyle, working for one of the best estate agencies in London, if not the best, earning a decent salary to keep me going, where I'm able to save and invest my money, enjoy the sort of London lifestyle and the culture, and learn a lot about the property markets in London and anything else that comes along the way. So in conclusion, for any young person still watching this video who thinks that a university degree is the only way to go and get the dream job that you want, well, think again. For me, it comes down to putting yourself out there, being confident in your own ability, and showing people and proving to them just how hardworking you are. And trust me, when you've done all of those three things, it really becomes hard for somebody to say no to you. With that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you'd like to see any estate agent content on this channel by smashing the like button. And if you have any other suggestions, leave them down below in the comments section, and I'll see you next time.